Hi guys, today I'm gonna give you some tips on how to kitefoil. As you can see, summer has arrived, which means many days like this, sunny but very light wind. If you're like me and you want to spend as much time on the water as possible, it's time to learn how to kitefoil. Before learning to kitefoil, it's important to have experience riding a regular twin tip, and it also helps having some experience riding a surfboard. You need to have good kite control, also in a little bit lighter wind. Some people learn to kitefoil after only a few months of kiteboarding, and others wait a little bit longer. If you want to get started but you don't feel so confident, it can also be a good idea to take a few hours of coaching to make sure you learn to kitefoil in a fun and safe way. Having the right gear will help a lot with the learning curve. Starting with the right foil. This is the Cabrinha High-Rise Lift. It's the ultimate freeride foil, really fun to cruise in the waves, but at the same time it's perfect for learning. It's important to not start with a wing that is too small. The bigger the wing, the less speed you'll need to start flying. The projected area of this wing is around 900 square centimeters. Something like this is perfect to learn how to foil. Next up is the mast. Learning with a shorter mast is a lot easier. At Cabrinha we have a 40 centimeter, a 60 centimeter and an 85 centimeter mast. The 40 centimeter mast is perfect for learning and a lot of schools use it for teaching. The 60 centimeter mast is also still really good to learn how to kitefoil with, and people use it at a bit shallower spots. The 85 centimeter mast, which is this one, is great for more experienced rider. It is possible to learn on it, but it's quite a bit harder and mistakes will result in way harder crashes. Once you feel more comfortable, the long mast is really fun because you can really lean into the foil, and it's better for cruising in the waves and pumping. A bigger board makes it a lot easier in the beginning as well. For the water start, riding without flying, and for not crashing when you make a little mistake. In the beginning, I definitely recommend to put the front strap. It makes the water start so much easier and it also helps for handling the board. Make sure to put the strap really loose so you can easily jump out during a crash. I don't recommend to put the back foot strap yet, because you won't need it in the beginning. Once you feel confident, you can choose to put the back foot strap, and you can put two straps in the front, which is great for tacks, jibes and going full speed. A kite with a lot of D-power also helps a lot. Once you are flying the foil, you quickly can get a lot of speed, and having good D-power will give you more control. My favorite kite for foiling is the Moto. You should take a smaller kite than you would normally use, but at the same time you still want a little bit of power to get you on the board. When you are foiling with enough power, you can keep the kite really high in the wind window, which helps you balance on the foil. Taking a kite that is too big will be dangerous, but also taking a kite that is too small will require a lot of technique. And you will need to send the kite really aggressively, which can also result in bad crashes. The best is to take a size smaller than you would normally use for riding your twin tip. I also really recommend using a helmet and an impact vest when you learn how to kitefoil, and also a wetsuit offers some protection. Having good conditions to learn how to foil will make it a lot safer and more fun. The best is medium wind strength. Going in too little wind will be frustrating and the kite handling will be really hard, while you want to focus on the foil and not on the kite. Going with strong wind means going with a small kite, which is also harder in the beginning. The best is to first practice at a flat water spot with no current. Having a spot that gets deep fast also makes it a lot easier. The easiest way to carry your foil is to grab it close to the mast, and I would recommend putting it at the waterline before launching your kite. When you go in the water for the first time, it's important to first practice a little bit of foil handling and body dragging. The foil turns easiest around the mast from the back of the board. For body dragging, you grab the downwind rail of the board and angle the board 90 degrees by putting pressure with your elbow. Slowly send the kite down, but keep it pretty high. The foil easily generates power, and it's important to be more careful than with a regular twin tip. Make sure to keep your legs away from the foil at all times. If you send the kite too much, just let go of the foil and focus on controlling the kite first to avoid injuries. Once you feel comfortable handling the foil in the water, it's time for the water start. Put the kite at noon and angle the board 90 degrees the same way as you would do for a body drag. Put your front foot in the strap and put pressure on your heels to keep the foil horizontal. Make sure you always have your back facing the wind. With a hydrofoil you can easily turn around. If that happens, try to turn in a good direction or take off your board and start over. Now send the kite and really make an effort to stand up, the same way as you would do from sitting on a chair. You want to send the kite just enough to get you on the board. It's better to start with sending the kite a little too soft and from there send it a little bit more until you generate enough power. Once you stand up, you need to put a lot of weight on your front foot to avoid the foil from flying. Pushing your hip forward can help putting the weight on your front leg. First, you want to practice riding around on the board before going for your first flight. Another thing that's really important is to not edge like on a regular twin tip. If you start edging on your heel side or toe side edge and you feel like you're out of control, send your kite to null and push the bar away from you. If you still feel out of control, jump away from the foil. Trying to correct a mistake with a lot of speed is usually pretty dangerous and something you shouldn't be trying in your first session. When you're riding around, keep the kite high at all times. This will help you with stability, because you can use the power of the kite to balance on your board. Sending the kite too low will result in uncontrollable speed and bad crashes. In the beginning, you should turn direction by slowly sending your kite to noon so you can sit back in the water and flip your board. Keep riding around on the board until you feel in control. After that, it's time to go for your first flight. Do the water start like before. First ride a couple of meters on the board and then slowly start putting a little bit of pressure on your back leg. When you feel like you start flying, put pressure on your front leg again to get the board back in the water. Again, try this both ways, and once you feel comfortable, you can try to go for longer flights, which is the best feeling ever. So these were my tips on how to kite foil. Make sure to go really easy and step by step because that's the safest and best way to learn it. If you have any questions, leave a comment and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos.